Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson. We're getting some more flakes across the region. We have more on Wednesday. Hey, we have more ice. We have more cold and some warm, too. Are you sick of the winter? I got good news. Do you want some more winter? I got good news for you, too, coming up. Full details are writing right here. Now, if you like the videos, please punch the like button and make sure that you tag a friend in the videos and let them know. And by the way, have you downloaded my Hutch's Weather app? Search Hutch's Weather in your app store today. It's free. And it has all the tools you need there for everything from snow reports to road reports. All right, let's get started with what's going on across the region. And number one, you may have noticed, big time temperature switcheroos. Wow, weather whiplash is what Hutch likes to call it. The blue areas here are areas of big time temperature change. Look at the cold air that's going to be moving in now as we have, well, some itchy weather working its way in, right, Pedro? That's right. So over here in Minnesota, south winds warming things up earlier in the day, 24-hour temperature change there on the positive side of things and pretty good. But we still have some things going on the radar right now, and let's get right to that. First and foremost, we do have some scattered flurries of snow making their way right across Hillsboro. Notice these little narrow bands of snow showing up here as we work our way into the evening. And here in the FM area, we've seen a few of these flakes flying right here. But as we take a bigger look at the whole picture, most of the area not seeing much, although these little streaming bands of snow showers tend to oftentimes show up close to radar sites. So while the skies are clear out to the west, we're seeing a few flakes of snow drifting through the Red River Valley. Same thing goes in and around Duluth. It's picking up some radar activity there on the North Shore, where we've had some more snowfall across the region. Now we've got winter weather warnings out in western Wyoming, winter weather advisories in the mountains and near the Beartooths of Montana as we go through. Now taking a look at what's going on Sault Ste. Marie, also seeing a winter storm warning. Look at these heavy bands of snow on the exiting storm system and cold front that made its way through our area. So that storm system that brought the morning ice and snow moving into Chicago with rain, ice in Iowa, and the heavy snow, northern parts of the mitten of Michigan right now, and that's it. And finally, a nice little quiet after the huge 2 to 3 foot plus snowstorm that hit the mid-Atlantic states right up into the New England states over the last 48 hours. So that's what's going on that radar right now. For us tonight, no watches, warnings, or advisories, but we do have some winter weather in the region that will work its way through. And we're going to get to that right now with your hour-by-hour forecast details on how this is going to transpire. Now, I'll go ahead and show you that not all models agree on every detail about the intensity of this particular system, but I will pull up one here that's, I think, is doing a fairly decent job with this system. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Okay, let's go with this one. All right, so as we put this into motion here, as it's loading right now, what you're going to notice is the future radar gets busy once again. Now, we talked about this the other day, and there's going to be a chance to see some of this activity work its way through because, let me see, there it is, it's loading up. Because we've had a cold front move through tonight, and that cold front has become stationary in southern Minnesota and across South Dakota and into Montana and Wyoming. And along that boundary where it's become stationary, we're going to see another low pressure system ride through. And on that boundary, that's where we're going to see the best chance of some rain and some snow. And we'll see some more up to the north as well. So here's how it transpires as we go through the overnight hours. Two things to notice. Wind decreases. This is a cold high pressure system making its way into the region. Hey, if you do have questions, drop them down. Let me know where you're watching and whether you're a fan of winter or whether you're a fan of some nice springtime that hopefully will be returning to the region. So as we go through the overnight hours and approach the daybreak, here it is. Wow. High pressure sets right up over us. That means light and variable winds, and it means not very much in the way of winds. It also means crystal clear skies. So areas with deep snow, fresh snow, you're going to have some cold temperatures across the area to start the day. Look at this. Along that boundary that we were just talking about, snow starts in southeast Montana, and some of you will get precipitation that'll be of the wet versus the white variety. That's out there not far from Baker, Montana here, Ekalaka on up towards Miles City and Forsyth. Chance for some snow accumulating on that I-94 corridor in southeast Montana and northwest parts of South Dakota near Belle Fourche and Buffalo, South Dakota. Now, as we put this into motion even further, let's see here. I got it going a little too fast. as we go through the day, here it goes into the morning hours, and by noon it starts spreading through. Notice out in the mountains of off the mountains of Calgary, Alberta, and also Saskatchewan, we're going to see a band of snow showers there as well. Here's what's going on. Warmer air trying to push its way through, and there we go. We get some showers of snow kicking off. Winds will be from the south. Here in the valley and most of Minnesota, extremely quiet conditions as high pressure sets the stage, but it won't last long in southern Minnesota and Iowa. Here comes that chance of snow dashing across South Dakota right into southwestern parts of Minnesota. And look at this. The northern valley, by the time we get to your evening commute here, we're looking at 5 to 7 p.m., we'll have a dash of snow along the international border. So there could be some snowfall there. And by the way, if we back this up just a bit, as you watch this system move through South Dakota, some ice along the south leading edge of that system, a certain possibility as well. So that is a quick look at the 24 to 36 hour forecast. Now let's take a look at the digits in your area to start your Wednesday. Hump day, 5 degrees in the FM area, 1 degree in the Grand Forks area, and the coldest weather out here in the Devil's Lake Basin, where we've got deep snow into the James and Cheyenne River valleys. Any of this purple nonsense, sub-zero temperatures down to around 10 below up near Botno. And as we look up to the far north, 10 below to start your day in Warroad, in also Roseau, as well as Badette. That's ear-chipping cold weather out there. Temperatures down toward the cities and up toward Duluth, single digits to around 10 degrees for most for a slippery start. Here's that snow spreading its way to the south and east along that boundary with this low pressure system, bringing temperatures that'll be very mild. And on the south side here, you see that? Temperatures warm enough for it to be rain. That's why we got raindrops here, causing that area of freezing drizzle and freezing rain. Snow showers will be making their way out of parts of Saskatchewan, pushing into Manitoba as we go through the mid-morning hours and beyond. Now, in the afternoon, do we warm up much? Well, hey, we'll take near 20 degrees in the Red River Valley, warmer still as we get into Bismarck, closer to 30. Are you kidding me? Dickinson, you're going to be planting seeds, and bananas will be sprouting soon. We got 46 degrees in the Belle-Fourche area, 45 for Rapid City. Remember, clouds and a few showers will be skirting out into parts of southwesternmost Minnesota and Iowa as we work our way through. That will cross the I-29 corridor as we go through our day, and we're talking temperatures across our northern counties of 10 to 15 degrees, maybe closer to 20. As we get into Babe the Blue Ox country there, about 16 degrees for your afternoon temperature. And the Arrowhead of Minnesota, once again, mighty cold, thanks to the fact that we've got some fresh new snow. Now, all of this new activity working its way through the region looks like this. Here's your midday snapshot on your way home. We could have a little bit of this snow moving into southwest parts of Minnesota and the I-29 corridor with that narrow band of mix in between. So watch out for slipperiness across portions of South Dakota, and we might see clouds, more certain, and even some isolated flakes along our border counties with South Dakota as we go through your afternoon toward the drive home. Now, when we factor in the areas that will have the best chance at that light glaze, it'll be on the south side of that band of snow that moves through. So that's where the slick glaze will make its way through. It doesn't look like a lot of accumulation. We might see a tenth of an inch here or there, but certainly slippery conditions across the I-90 corridor in South Dakota. This has already fallen as it's making its way out of the region right now. So the only area of icing I'm really concerned about is down here from Montana, Wyoming, and in through northwestern South Dakota, central, and then southeast and south central South Dakota. How much snow? There'll be a narrow band of about 1/2 of an inch to an inch with an isolated potential for 2, maybe 3 inches of snow along this track. That's you folks not far from Mobridge as you get down towards Pierre and certainly out towards Chamberlain. Notice this model picking up on a little bit more. Some of this is still exiting the region now. So I'm lowering these totals that you see here at 6 to 5 inches because we're already seeing that exit the region right now. But 1 to 3 additional inches of snow with this little batch that makes its way through. Notice the northern valley here, a trace to maybe an inch. It's not going to be a bunch, but it's going to add to our layer of slippery across the region. Most of us here, Minot to Devil's Lake and the I-94 corridor, including Fargo to Jamestown, looking pretty swell. with regards to that weather making system there. So that is a look at what's going on. And I do want to remind you that we have the 7-day planner for you right here. And look at this. As we head into your Wednesday, we'll have some morning chill in the air out there with temperatures at or below zero for many locations. 19 in Fargo, and it does look like our winds become a little bit more southerly in the afternoon, but nothing too strong. And as we go across our area on Thursday and Friday, wow, here's that warm weather I was talking about for the majority of you who are warm weather spring-like lovers. Temperatures both days near the mid-30s here in the FM area, as we still have a lot of snow to melt across the region. There will be a milder wind. It'll be from the west on Thursday. Friday, gusty south winds to 45 miles per hour at first. Then they switch around to a northerly direction with a cold front moving through. Now that could bring some overnight showers here and there of mixed precipitation and flakiness in the form of snow. And behind it, see the down arrow? Because this cold front, depending on its timing, it could be around midday for Fargo. We'll see temperatures starting to fall around that time slowly, but then very quickly into the evening time, on our way down to below zero for the weekend ahead. So I've got those days labeled in purple because if you wanted to get outside and maybe do some tanning, never mind. Probably you might want to skip that as we have that lucky 13-degree reading in the afternoon on March 1st. So temperatures will be chilly to start the month of March. Is that a lion? To me, I'm looking for a storm with big time wind and heavy snow or something like that. Maybe even thunder showers or heavy rain. I don't see any inclement weather in that aspect, but it's not going to be too balmy, and we will be below average by about 15 to 20 degrees, depending on your location. Look at the mild returning to the region as we head into the first work week of the month of March, and we're marching into March with some beautiful weather out there. But hey, how about tomorrow and Thursday? I want to let you know that my friends at Gate City Bank have a big 2-day event on the 25th and 26th. Region-wide. I want you to find a location near you by going to gatecity.bank/offer, OFFER. And there you'll find out details about the huge event where you can take advantage of some awesome and warm savings on a pretty special deal, even in the midst of our cold temperatures. Again, that's both Wednesday and Thursday. And stop by the Village West location on 13th and I-29 there across from the mall in Fargo. I'll be there from noon to 2 to say hi. Say hi, grab a cookie, and take advantage of the offer here. And if you're heading in, whether it's anytime Wednesday or Thursday during their operating hours, let them know that Hutch sent you. Now that's a look at some mighty warm thoughts on some cold weather here across the valley. All right, let's get to your questions right here, and I am going to put up the radar so I can address some of those that you may have, even in our area or around. Woo, look at all these questions. Gary, thank you very much. Good evening. Made it to Fargo. Glad you did. Getting the dusting of snow. It was warmer in Sioux Falls, but this a little windy this afternoon. And in fact, the snowflakes outside my broadcasting area right now, not so bad. It's starting to taper off just a bit, but north of town, the radar does show we have some. Deb, good to have you on board. Watching from Fargo, Moorhead. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate that. Barnes County, says Nicole, I appreciate you watching from Barnes County, where much like we have here, we're starting to see some sun take hold. I will go ahead and show you those road conditions. We still have slippery conditions across the region as well. So thanks for bringing that up. Teach you how to fly like a reindeer. That's always handy in weather like this. And Brad says, Hutch, with your LiDAR background, what does the radar distinguish falling snow from the ground blizzard blowing snow we were seeing in these 45-mile-per-hour gusts? So LiDAR background, what does the radar distinguish falling snow from the ground blizzard? What we normally see is a radar beam that goes up as it gets farther away from the radar, Brad. And then eventually, because our wintertime clouds are shallow, it overshoots the snow. So radars can be at a disadvantage when you get farther away from the radar because the snowflakes that are in those lower clouds are overshot, therefore not detected by Doppler radar. So that's definitely something that you have to kind of keep in mind. And it's one of the reasons why I did mention that in our radar view today, we see these little narrow streamers of snow going on very near the radar site. And Doppler radar, again, is pretty good at catching this in those shallow clouds in our area. There's a narrow band, there's a narrow band, there's a narrow band, and the radar is located right here. No problem seeing those shallow clouds. Now, if we do have gusty 45-mile-per-hour winds, sometimes we'll see something similar where we'll get a narrow trail of snow in those 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now, when we look around our region, we're not seeing much in the way of precipitation out in Bismarck, but you go out to Duluth and we see some more of these streamers working their way through not far from the Duluth radar. So it's picking up some more bands of snow behind the system out there with north winds that are a little bit stronger. And in fact, when we go ahead and plot those winds on here, hey, why not throw on some data overlays, because we're talking shop here. Looking for those METARs on here, and so we can turn those on. Okay, wind speeds. So this is going to give us an idea of those wind speeds across the region. Notice this. As of now, most areas have winds that are sustained at under 20 miles per hour, not nearly as gusty. High pressure coming from the northwest will have these calming down as well. And even out toward Duluth, our wind speeds are not nearly as gusty. And in fact, the National Weather Service did drop the winter weather advisory fairly early in our region because we did get some gusts that were upwards of 30 miles per hour as we take a look at some peak gusts here from my friends at the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. We did see isolated pockets that got near 40 miles per hour, but not the 50 mile per hour that was going to be the possibility. And sneaking out in Minnesota, we did see 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts out there as well. And the fact that we got some rain, that helped to cap some of that blowing snow that we were really worried about last night. So that was some good news with regards to our forecast today. So again, in answer to your question, will it be able to see those streaming bands or wind lofted snow? Oftentimes when we do see that, I'm trying to see if I see a good example of a real windy location here. And I'm just not seeing one on this map as I'm perusing through. 10 to 25 mile per hour winds are not going to pick up a lot of fluffy snow and blow it around. So I don't have a great example to show you what lofted snow looks like, but sometimes you can see it on a satellite. So why not look at that? We have a lot of remote tools in meteorology, and one of them being those satellite views of the region. Now, as we look at the daytime hours visible satellite, you got all this white that's not moving here. That's bands of snow stapled to the ground by gravity. Okay, so those areas have snow making their way through. The moving white, that's the clouds. And you see these slightly thicker clouds there? Those ones are a little bit thicker and therefore capable of creating some snowflakes in them. When we do get the real gusty wind blasting through and we get a little arrow of narrow lofted snow, you kind of see stuff like this. This stuff here is moving west to east in the higher level winds above our head. These little clouds that you see here that are moving north to south, that's those surface winds that are blowing. So here may have been some lofted snow, lower clouds, lower white stuff moving through the air that could be lofted snow. This is upper level winds. So as a meteorologist, it's really keen and cool to use visible satellite to diagnose where the upper level winds are and what those are doing. That's clouds. And where lower level winds are showing streamers of snow moving through, where we could have some lofted snow. Really good question. Thank you so much, Brad, and I appreciate you all watching very much. Nicole says, would you say that we have a couple more weeks of cold temperatures left until it stays above freezing? More than that, it looks like to me. Now, we did have some nice 7-day temperatures, as you saw there, but more than that. And in fact, if you watch my video up at the top here, and I'll put a link to it a little bit later, but we talked about this in depth last night with regards to looking at about the first 2 to 3 weeks of March. And it looked like we get into a much more active pattern, at least once we get through about the 12th through the 20th and early into the 24th or so of March. So, yeah, there's a few more chances of some possibly bigger storm systems for our area. So we got to kind of prepare for that. You know how March can be, some call it Fool's Spring. All right, here we go. Hey, Betty, thank you so very much for sharing Stars with Hutch. Thanks to you, BA, for always supporting Hutch's weather. All of you. You can support it by watching. You can support it by all of your activities that you do online by sharing the information that Hutch is here to keep his eyes on the skies for you. And you can also do it by downloading my doggone weather app right here by searching Hutch's Weather on your app store today. You know what? Not only does Hutch have the app on his phone right here, you can push on that button and get all your road reports, the snowfall amounts for the region, all of it on one page. You can plot power outages with these storms, as well as put a widget on your screen. So if you hold down on Hutch's app right here, Shazam, Shadizzle, boom, hold down on it. See this widget button? Add a widget. There's a dozen to pick from. One of the widgets I like is the radar. It's always on my home screen. Here it's showing me Fargo and these little bands of snow that are moving over. All you got to do to get to Hutch's weather app then with a widget is you click the widget with your finger and you can take a look right at the full Hutch's weather app. So thanks so much to all of you. Hey, you're liking it too. I can see the hearts coming in. Anybody who's liking what they're seeing, drop a thumbs up, drop a heart. That really does help Hutch's video get out to more people while we're doing this. And Betty says, so I'm ready for spring to come to Cormorant. Oh my goodness. Cormorant Lake, Big Cormorant Lake, Middle Cormorant Lake, Little Cormorant Lake. Oh, beautiful country out there. And I hear you. You know what? There's a lot of people out there that love the ice fishing. And we're right at the edge of that going goodbye for our southern to central Minnesota counties, because as things warm up, that ice gets a little bit, well, let's just call it less safe. So we'll keep our eyes on that for you, but you need to make sure you're checking those ice levels. Now on Hutch's weather app here, one thing I did want to point out by going to it, here's our radar. You can zoom around and see what's going on now. This is the future radar. You just click on this little gray box here and you can turn on the national radar. But do you see this? The future radar is that computer model that shows you how the radar will change over the next day. Always with you, always available. Power outages by state or by county, choose one of those and go back to the map and look at the plots. You want to look at snowfall accumulation and the forecast for that. Remember, now, not everybody tells you this, but Hutch shoots the straight line. I am not going to tell you stuff that isn't true. Any model that you get, or any app that you get, oftentimes is tied to one specific model. This one is, and it's a great way to look at the timing and the track of the storm system. Always remember, Hutch says, no one model, no one forecast computer model gets the forecast right every time, and that does include this app. It does really good. So if you want to look at the forecast for snow accumulations or the future radar, just keep in mind it's just a model, and then watch Hutch's video for the lowdown on which model I think is doing and what's different between this and that. And if you want to ask, just ask and we'll go over it. Okay, so forecast snow accumulations, you can plot all that stuff. Then you can overlay stuff over the top of your radar. So let's turn the radar back on. Let's go to the overlays. You can overlay your alerts for your area, and you can overlay lightning, which sooner or later Cormorant will be getting some lightning, and earthquake data if you want to plot that. And also there are some settings for the map. What kind of map do you like to use? For me, I like a nice dark map background so the bright colors on the radar show up brightly and easy to read. So you set all this stuff up nicely, and Shazam, here's alerts across the nation, across the region. If you want to see where there's earthquakes, oh no, Texas, see all these little green dots? Zoom in. What happened down here as we zoom on in towards Midland and Big Spring, Texas? Why, by golly, we had us an earthquake down there. The ground was a-shaking, the earth was quaking. You know the rest of the lyrics. Okay, so as you take a look across the nation, you can just look at everything you want on Hutch's weather app, and that's all there for you. And I did want to point this out to all of you who have supported me with stars and contributing funds on YouTube. And you've smashed the subscribe button on YouTube. You've hit the follow button on Facebook. Thank you. You can also, because you asked for some swag or some gear, head over to my homepage here, and on the homepage, if you scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see the fancy Hutch's Gear button. Hutch's Gear is Hutch's shop, and not only can you help support Hutch's weather continue growing and growing into the future, but you can snag some pretty cool gear here. There's sweatshirts, t-shirts, cups, coffee mugs, water jugs, even some bandanas for your Pedro-like friend. Even buttons, you name it. And you can shop by the different types of designs, and we'll always refresh these with Hutchisms like Shovel Trouble. Get your Shovel Trouble shirt today. Thanks to all of you who have ordered. It really does go to help support Hutch's weather, and thank you all so very, very much. More questions, BA. Thank you for sharing stars. And let's see. It's still ski season, says BA, indeed. And down in your area, south of the Twin Cities, you got a nice little dose of winter down there over the last couple of days. And today's ice storm that made its way through the Twin Cities, I guess we can't call it an ice storm because we didn't get the serious thick accumulation, but it was icy enough that we had crashes all over the Twin Cities. That's now much better. Logan, thanks for watching from Fargo. Checking in on Elisa. Thanks. Can't wait till spring. Hopefully it won't be long. Mike says, hi from sunny Goodyear, Arizona. Wow, I thought you were going to say Goodrich, Minnesota. But no, you're Goodyear, not Goodrich. And Goodyear, he says, it's 85 degrees. Mike, thank you much for sharing all of the warmth we have to look forward to on June 27th here in the Northern Plains before things start turning colder. Kidding. Okay, Deborah, thank you for stars. I appreciate that very much. Shirley, watching from Moorhead. Thank you again, Kim, for your support of Hutch's Weather. Nathan says, thank you for the education on this. You're very, very welcome, Nathan, and thank you very much for your awesome uploads of photos. Speaking of which, Hutch's Weather and Hutch's Weather app allow you to upload photos that you see across the region. And I do believe we have some beautiful ones out there. Check this out as we take a look at some of the scenes across the valley. This is where you get to share your weather with us. Look at that sun rising right there on Lake of the Woods, 20 miles out. Sean, thanks for uploading your photo. And as we take a look at what it was like this morning, Amber and Moorhead capturing the icy scene right on the window, those south winds stapling the rain to the frozen outside window, and it was solid ice. And we even had some sleet out there, those little ice balls that were out across the region. So thanks so much for sharing all of your photos. And thank you so very much, Nathan, as well. I appreciate your comments and your uploads. We'll get to that later. Marion, thank you. What is the snow in Bismarck? Marion, I'm not sure what your question is getting at there, how much you've had for the season, or are you looking for how much snow for tomorrow? But I will put the forecast up once again as we look at the snowfall potential. All of the snowfall potential will be along the South Dakota border, so I'm not anticipating any new snow for your area in Bismarck. And I will take a look at the details as far as the seasonal snowfall for Bismarck that's been updated most recently by the National Weather Service right now since you asked. And as we go to that, give me one moment while I look up the information here because I'm doing this in real time and I appreciate your patience with me while I look up the latest on the almanac for the Bismarck area. As far as precipitation goes for snowfall, the total snowfall observed for the day, the 20, wow, is it really 24-hour period? You got 2.4 inches, it says here from the National Weather Service office, and normal. This must be for the month so far. Okay, and then 6.3, and for the season, here we are. Let's see. Total snowfall since July 1st, 27 inches, but normally we're at 36 inches. So we're about 9 inches subpar for the Bismarck area for snowfall yet this season. So that's a look at the Bismarck area. I hope that answers all of the questions that you may have had. Marion, thank you for watching so much from the Bismarck area. Janice says, watching from South Fargo, stop snowing here, snow, go away. That's Janice's thoughts. What do you think? Let me know. Anita says, Hutch, thanks for the update. And Anita, thank you for watching. Just trying to get to use the cold and snow up here in Minnesota. I'm from Georgia and back home isn't that cold. Georgia, particularly North Georgia, got some serious winter weather, serious icing in parts of the state, as did Mississippi in particular from that big winter storm as we went through the month of February as well. So woo-wee, crazy weather. Thank you so much for your input and for interacting with us here on Hutch's Weather. Brad says, thank you so much. And no more snow for the Ismail is requesting no more snow in Moorhead. Brad, nice day in Cullum, 20 degrees now. Awesome. It really has grown, the temperature has. Thank you, Hutch. The weather here said snow for today. So you betcha, you're welcome. And let's see, I think we've got all those fancy, oh no, we got a couple more of you on the YouTube channel. Thanks to all of you who have taken the time to find Hutch's Weather on YouTube and subscribe there. Did you know what? You can get to your big screen TV and you can have the YouTube app on your TV and you can watch me in 1080i. The graphics are in 1080i. They're a lot easier to see. So if you have trouble seeing it on your mobile device, maybe consider that as an option, and you can put it on your computer as well. And Nicole says, thank you, Hutch, and we will have snow in April in the Northern Valley. Will we have snow? Gene, that's a tough question to answer. It looks like March we get a little bit more active pattern. It's not uncommon to get snow in April. It's usually the wetter, heavier variety. And if you've been up here for long, you know we can get some very wet storms. And in fact, April blizzards are not fun. Those spring ones can come with a lot of moisture with them as well. So Brad says the shirts are high quality. Wasn't expecting them to be so nice. Brad, thank you for your order. Thank you for your support of Hutch's Weather. And there we go. Okay, so I think we're caught up with your questions. I think that gets us through most of the content that we had for today. I'm going to put the 7-day and show you the roller coaster down tomorrow morning on our way back up on Thursday and Friday. Friday late, cold front in the afternoon causes us to go back down. Down we go. We're way low down here, down at 2 and 5 below, closing out February and heading into March on a low note. And then it's right back up, and then we talk about some temperatures that'll be way up there as we go into the first work week of March. Thank you so very much. Thanks for liking the videos, watching from Wheaton, Minnesota. So good to have you on board, Sheila. Thank you very much for supporting Hutch's Weather. Saturday, Fargo, first. Is it true? Saturday, Fargo, the first. Saturday. Oh, wait. Did I get my dates mixed up again? 26, 25, 26, 27, 28. Sunday's the first. I think Sunday's the first. I could be wrong. I'm not a calendarologist. So the first, cold is how we start the month. And then as we head into Monday, it does look like some beautiful weather heading our way. Thank you very much. You all have a good evening. I'll keep you updated. Hey, make sure if you're in the Fargo area, swing by a Gate City Bank location near you. Take advantage of their offer. Visit gatecity.bank/offer for the details. And if you're really looking forward to some fun, why not hang out with Hutch in Norway? Come with me to Norway. Let me tell you a little bit about the trip because we have a very special guide for this tour. Here you go.
Guess what? I'm heading to Norway with my friend Frode, and we want you to come along with us. It's August 16th through the 26th of this year. Frode, where are we going to see?
Well, first of all, we're going to the capital of Norway in Oslo. Then after that, go over the mountains to Flum, Bergen, Molde, and Trondheim.
So much to see in between, and
yes.
lutefisk included, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, you can head over to my website today or my app and find out more information, or call our friends at Brecky Tour and Travel today.
All right, know that you can find out more information about that trip on hutchesweather.com or on my app. And here's a look at the Norway flag. You just click on that. And on the app, all you have to do is find the Norway button. It's big as you scroll down the main page there. And you can find the links, the brochure, and you can watch a webinar that we held with Q&A about the trip to Norway in August. Thanks for watching. You have a great evening on this Tuesday night, and we'll keep you updated on some wild humps in your hump day forecast all night and all day long on Hutch's Weather's platforms. Thanks so much.
This has been a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Wait, you forgot the new app. You're right, I did. Don't forget to download our new app. Oh, now let's rock. Thanks for watching Hutch's Weather.